Test,
Yeah.
test.
We're on.
Okay, everybody, it is 7:02 on 4/26. We're gonna call this meeting of the City Council to order. Welcome, everybody. Thing that I would like to do first is call roll here. Councilman Armand, position number 1.
I'm here.
Position number 2, David Bedras.
I am present.
Position number 3, Stephen Hardy.
Yep.
Chris Moritz, position 4.
Here.
And Levi Shank.
I texted him. Oh.
Can you hear me, Steven?
Yeah, although I didn't know you would be calling in through me, so if my phone dies, it's because you ran it out of battery. But you're
I
free.
can swap over to whomever has more battery than you.
No, just keep it here for now. And if it dies, you know what to do.
Okay.
Stephen.
Oh, how about that? Look at you, Mr. Technology here with the
Yeah.
phone charger.
Yeah, and the proper drawer is where the cord is. That
Well,
was
you
in
gotta
it.
have your drawer straight.
That's right.
You know.
That's my cord
I can
drawer.
call Jess's phone if you want.
No,
We're,
we're fine. We're good.
okay.
We're good. It just gets worse from here, so.
Okay.
Am I providing you with humor?
You are. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna mute until you need me.
Good evening, Levi. So I'm going to go over the treasurer's report here. Our treasurer is called in and has 2 sick kids and will not be at the meeting here, and the report was held up due to some technical issues with our programming system. Additions to the agenda.
I'd like to talk about the bank building.
Okay. Any other additions to the agenda? Okay. We have a guest here tonight, and we don't have any other guests to welcome to our meeting, so we're going to welcome our county commissioner, Joe Gilchrist.
Thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate it. So,
You have the floor.
okay, just a quick little introduction. So we were visiting a little bit earlier. So, longtime Lincoln County resident. My folks moved out here in 1976. So I went to school in Harrington all the way up to the 7th grade, and then in the 8th grade moved to Christian Heritage, which is where I graduated, and then went to WSU, and I have a BS in animal science. So in 1999, I started working at the sheriff's office, and I just retired after a 23-year career as a dispatch corrections deputy, and kind of worked my way up, and was the 911 coordinator since 2008. So. And just took a chance of with our retired county commissioner, Mark Stedman. So I just took a chance and decided to go for that, and was appointed February 1st. So just brand new. So just learning the ropes and getting out, talking to everybody in the community, and so having a great time. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions of me, but I'd come and introduce myself and
Glad you
letting
could be
me
here.
to the face.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice seeing you again.
Thank you very much.
So,
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
What can you do to help us get around the apple maggot quarantine issue that we have in this town here?
I will check on that. I'm so brand new. I didn't really know that we had a problem.
We do, in the fact that we cannot take any green waste to the dump, which is the other side of Highway 2, because that makes it outside the county, and we have an apple maggot quarantine, which,
Specifically the town of Harrington?
well, I don't think it's strictly us, but I know it affects us.
The sign is there.
Yes, I've seen the sign. I know exactly where it
In
is.
the territory that they
Okay.
Yeah.
deemed.
I don't think we have a big apple maggot quarantine problem, but we do have something that costs this small town several $1,000s a year, and that's to have a green waste dumpster which gets hauled to, I believe it's Fish Trap. Is that the correct name of that?
To Bartek, probably.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the country, or the name of the
Uh-huh.
place over there,
Yep.
yes.
So the bio
And
waste.
so we can't take any lawn trimmings from any trees, plants of any kind
Mm-hmm.
outside the city to take them to the dump.
Okay, I will do some research for
And
you,
that-
and I will
that-
get back with you, I promise.
Okay,
I
very
don't have
good,
an
thank
answer
you.
right now.
Anybody else got any questions for the county commissioner?
No, just appreciate you coming down and saying hi and
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
How do we get a hold of you if we need to?
So, I'm on the county website, and I can give you my cell phone number right now. I've got county email address. I got a brand new cell phone number if you guys want to write that down.
You betcha.
If that is intended to be a public thing, we are on YouTube, so.
Okay,
Just before you.
it's, yeah, I am available. So let me find, it's brand new. So phone number is 509-724-9750.
Hey, thank you. And that's your company work? phone?
That's county,
Okay.
yeah. So, and then I've got a county email as well, and it's jgilchrist@co.lincoln.wa.us.
Okay.
I do have one question, actually. So I saw on Facebook that construction's going to start on the fiber on May 1st.
Close to May 1st. So the construction company, the contract was awarded to 0DB. Yep, and there's already been a construction pre-talk and everything. And the first run, they're actually gonna do it backwards rather than from Wilbur to Elmira. They're gonna do it backwards, starting Elmira and work towards Wilbur. So, but yeah, right around May 1st, so the first week.
Do we have a projected time to go live on that?
So this is the infrastructure part, but we're told that this very first phase, which the town of Harrington is included, we keep hearing October 31st. And again, there's the portion where everybody has to contract with your ISP and get services, but the infrastructure should be done by October 31st, which is incredible, I think. Really, really cool, so, but.
Great.
Yep, so
Thank
that's
you.
the first phase is the mid-mile, and they're gonna stick to Elmira and then come to Harrington and Creston as well.
Yeah, Elmira Creston first. In talking to 0DB there, they were talking towards the end of May, we may see some of the overhead going up.
Some activity, yeah, so
So-
fantastic company. Oh my gosh, I think that they're gonna do an excellent job here in our county.
Well, if there's no further questions, thank you for coming and sitting here through the first hour of the meeting. That was,
Started at 6, I'm sorry.
yeah,
You're a little early.
we appreciate you coming. You're more than welcome to stay, or you're free to go if you do. If you want to sit through the rest of this, you're more than welcome. So, next thing on our agenda is to approve the minutes from 4/12/2023.
So moved.
I'll second.
So, we've got a motion on the floor to approve the minutes and a second discussion.
I've got one very small correction. Just a typo. Page 3, Rockland is ROCKLAN.
YN.
YN. And I'm
Page
sorry I
3.
meant to send that to you, but yeah, like the middle of it, under the fiber optic update.
I missed that the first time through too. I was going to say that today. I also wanted to note some kudos for Donna in capturing well that motion at the end of the mobile home park discussion. I was curious exactly how it would translate into words, and she did a very good job on that. So thank you.
It took a while.
Oh goodness.
Further discussion? All in favor of accepting the minutes with the corrections as stated, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same? So that's carries 5-0. Thank you. The next, we'd like to approve the claims.
That'd be, because there were a couple versions of claims, so just to clarify to everyone, I believe that would be updated claims number 3, April 26th, that was sent out yesterday at 9:03 a.m. Or, no, that's just the last revision to it.
I think I'm looking at number 4.
Oh, okay, that was in the packet. Never mind, so that's a good thing. Okay.
I think the last addition was the payment to Sewell. Is that true, Donna? Yes, so if you see a Sewell there,
So can we query what Sewell is?
yes, that is an A19 for work that Sewell has done on design work for the wastewater treatment plant. The A19 was submitted and we've got the check back, so this is one of those,
It's a pass-through.
the revolving door thing that money's coming from the state and we're passing it on to JL or to Sewell and Associates.
And on a very small side note, does that mean that you have your Sam account, SAW account set up and
Oh,
got
yeah.
all that stuff up to date? Or do we still have to do that quarterly status report? Okay, no, that's not where that came from. Okay, forget it. Side. Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
So we got a motion on the floor to approve the claims as stated here and a second. Any further discussion?
I love that there's a line item for the reversal of late fees. That's really going the right direction on that.
Yes. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same? Levi, was that you in there, I heard? Was? Okay,
I was eyeing, yes.
thank you. That's, we're approved 5-0. Thank you, council. Let me get the microphone out here. So, approve the claims. Executive session is the next thing on there. We have to approve the lease agreement for our building across the street, the one that was,
We're the executive. We can't approve it in executive session. We can only discuss the terms that we're gonna.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm reading what it says here. You'll have to excuse me for that. Yes, we're gonna try to come up with the rent and the other deciding factors there, money-wise. I would think 45 minutes would be a sufficient amount of time for that
See you,
issue.
Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We can. You can never reclaim, so I'd go short and extend. You want to go half an hour? And
That
then
sounds
extend?
fine.
Yeah. It may well be at 45 minutes, but I'd hate to be sitting around. Okay, so I'm gonna start us with an executive session here for half an hour, starting at 7:16 p.m. and returning at 7:46 p.m.
Sounds good. Okay, we're going live?
We are live.
Okay, very good. It is now 7:46. Next thing on our agenda today is mayor's comments. Willis Street is the first thing I would like to bring up. There was some talk, and I still haven't got a firm bid from Johnson yet, from Mr. Johnson, who is J.R. Massey. The price that he was quoting was a by the foot price. And when he came back and gave me a ballpark figure, it was something south of $250,000. And yeah.
For Willis?
Yeah, for a block of sewer.
Wait.
Okay,
For a
let's
block
get-
of...
Well, for a block of water line,
Oh, okay.
excuse me.
Okay.
So it was, any rate, when I talked to TDNR, when I talked to Stephen Marsh about it, Stephen Marsh said he was going to talk to Mr. Massey about that because he thought that was a little bit high and there's still, so we don't have a good firm number on that. We did get a letter today from, not from John Gallo. Boy, I should give this to you guys and let you read it. It just came. And we cannot take the money left over from the
Emergency.
original grant for the emergency because we did not call this an emergency. If there are other monies available, I will give this to you. I'm sorry, I wish I could read that to you right now, but I cannot. And whether you want me to make copies or somebody wants to read that, there are other emergency funds available if we apply for them.
Are they in the form of a grant?
And that's, you know, when these things come out,
Right.
you don't know that. So I don't think it would be a grant as we got for putting under the, it could be a low interest loan or very favorable. At the present time, it's holding. We don't know when it's going to fail. It could be an emergency at any moment. But
If it, just devil's advocate, if it does fail, do we have a means to shut off that block by itself?
I can't answer you that question. There's a hydrant at both ends, and I'm not sure what those hydrants will shut off. That's a very bad thing to do, is to shut off the hydrant. We do not have a shut off block per block per block.
I didn't
And
think
what
we-
happens is when you shut off that hydrant is you induce air into the system, and then when the high pressure comes back with air doesn't compress, or air does and water doesn't. You just stand the chance of blowing up everything that you got there. Watch why is when those guys are down there, you always see the geysers blowing up. They do not turn the water off. We have turned the pump off before, which stops, 250 gallons a minute coming in the line, and it's only got water pressure from the water in the lines. But no. Yes, you probably could turn it off. That would be a major problem.
I was just wanting to know.
We don't have unlimited water pressure there. That's only coming from our pump down below, and gravity from the water in the lines. So it's not like our main water line. It is a line. It's a 5-inch line running down there, but it's not the main one that's feeding our tank, for instance.
Okay.
The one going up here, up the hill, it feeds a couple houses here and there, but its basic purpose in life is to get water to that tank up there. So there is some things going on there that we don't have the numbers yet. I haven't got those out of Massey.
As an aside, speaking of emergency declarations, we were advised to open the emergency declaration until things were done up there.
Complete.
So,
Doesn't hurt us.
and I'm guessing this is probably another item on your list, but so we can just talk about it then if you want to. But Are we good to close that state of emergency yet?
No.
Okay.
They have one more thing, and they want to wait till it's done, seeded, the whole thing is done.
Okay.
And the only other thing is a possible issue with one of the residents. And both of the contractors know it. There's a scheduled walkthrough possibly next week.
Okay.
And we're going to have as I told the two contractors and warned them both, we have an opportunity for success to solve this problem and everybody to be happy. So we have another one of those right up there. And that's with one homeowner who might want something changed. I find that to be less than it's gotta be something we can solve. It's a shovel job. Doesn't require huge equipment. We've got to be able to fix this and get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
So, I think that will happen. Other than that, Lincoln County has provided us with paperwork here for anybody who wishes to be a candidate for, I believe we have 4 openings coming. 5, okay. We got a treasurer, we got 3 council positions and a mayor position. So, I've only given out one of these at the moment, and that was the treasurer. Our current treasurer is entertaining the thought because her term is going to be up, and she would like to stay on to solve the problems that are at hand.
I believe that is May 15th.
Through the 19th.
Okay.
I will hand this to somebody else to read. Sorry, I
We
hope
got
this
it
is
in our
the last day
Yeah,
that
we got it in our package.
I struggle with that issue.
That can also, for anybody that's listening, that can also be found online on the Lincoln County Auditor's page.
Yes.
And to be clear for any who might be on the stream, the positions that'll be coming open would be myself, Levi, and Chris's position.
3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
Position 3, 4, and 5, and the treasurer's position and the mayor's position.
Correct.
And city council does not have a filing fee because we do not get paid. The treasurer and the mayor would, though it would be minimal. I also did hear some rumblings. I don't know if this has been taken up, but I did hear some rumblings that there will be a candidate forum at some point.
Yes.
I thought that worked famously last time.
Who decided that?
I don't think it's been decided. There's been some interest in some organizations in town putting it on again.
But it's not a requirement.
No. The chamber decided to put it on 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And it wasn't a requirement, but it was an opportunity to basically come in and instead of it turning into just a melee, they asked, I think, one question of everybody.
Yeah. And it would go
You
beyond
had
the city.
X number of minutes.
I think there's also 3 school board member positions open, and then last time I think there was also a fire district commissioner.
Fire district commissioner was up too.
So it would be for all candidates of our local area. It's not city specific, and it's not required. It's just a opportunity to inform the public as to their votes.
Who they are. Really.
Yeah.
So one last thing for the mayor's comments. Here's a letter that I propose to send out to 23 residents of our city and eliminate the council from having to get involved in that or our lawyers' fees or anything else. And those would be, I could speak to that later, but it would only be to people who have a overdue bill of a considerable amount.
We talked about adding this to their current, selectively adding this to their current bill that goes out.
I would hand sign those, fill in their names, and make sure I'm here to fold them and put them in the specific bills that go out.
Okay.
Thank you. And then we move forward and wait and see what kind of negotiations we can make.
Did you want to see this?
I've already said
And
I can't think.
to be clear, the negotiations, the scope of that is only a question of time. We are not as a city allowed to negotiate the total amount due, lest that be a...
Oh, you mean to negotiate it as far as reducing the,
Yeah, we cannot reduce the amount. We
oh,
can,
no.
No, I know. I'm not. I know the people here know this, but just in case anyone's listening on YouTube, when we just referred to negotiation, that is not negotiation of how much. It's a negotiation of when.
I think this bottom line needs to be clarified to
Okay.
say that this is the amount in addition to the current bill to go towards the arrearage.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise somebody can say, I'll pay 50. And it's
Yeah,
not, it doesn't even cover
we're
the-
looking
Yeah.
to make a good faith estimate with people to help them get these
That's a good
up to date.
It's establishing a repayment program.
Yeah.
Yes,
Plan.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something this is over and above your current bill.
Yes.
That's correct.
Great
Yeah.
catch.
Or I say repayment and payment plan.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a matter of keeping up with the current monthly charge and then setting up some sort of a payment plan to,
In addition, yeah.
yes, in addition to bring up from the past. So, that's it for the meeting. Does anybody have anything else from the public? We have no public here, so,
We
And
had an addition.
in addition,
okay. Oh, let me go back here to our additions.
so I was in the U.S. Bank building today. There was some miscommunication between the landlords and myself, probably on my end, to understand this is the time to do the wiring that would be necessary for the network cable stuff. So I'm trying to get that done this week because there's some changes next week as far as insulation that would make it significantly harder to do next week. The cabling with that I happen to have and will donate to technically the landlords because it'll be a part of their building, so that's not a cost to the city. But what I was able to determine is exactly a little bit more of how our network will actually lay out down there. There are some network cables already existing from what the bank building had in place. There are also a whole bunch of other cables. There's like phone cables, there's video camera cables, there's alarm system cables. There in the basement, there's just a whole bunch of cables that are gonna take time to try and figure out which ones have been cut, which ones are dead, which ones are still being used for stuff. So it's gonna be a process of getting to know the technology capabilities already in there. All that is to say a couple things. One, I think with the council's permission, I will speak with the landlords about if there's a time where we can go in as hopefully a group of all of us to talk about layout. Where does Donna want her desk? What desk do we need there? What needs to be there for the office room? And are we going to set up cubicles? And where are we going to get the cubicle dividers? And all that kind of stuff. We need to logistically look at the area so that they don't just say, okay, here's the contract signed, and then we have no clue where anything's going. Also, like where Donna puts her desk is also where we're going to need to have yes, there will be Wi-Fi in the building. It's most reliable if we can have everything hardwired. So where she puts her desk is where we're going to need an Ethernet cable. That kind of logistical thing. So I think we're at that stage. We're at the stage that we should be taking a look fairly soon. I'm not commenting on the behalf of the landlords to say that they're willing to do that quite yet, but I'm just saying it looks to me like we're close to that stage where we can go in to try and get an idea of what we're going to need. From a technology standpoint of what we're going to need, we already have a lot of it. We have new Wi-Fi access points. that we haven't used here because we knew things were in flux. So we have that part of it. We have the network attached storage. There are a few miscellaneous purchases that I would like council's indication of go ahead to purchase. The vote doesn't need to happen here. It can't happen here because this is not an action item because it's an addition to the agenda, but it would just be something that in a future council meeting you would see this as an expenditure to approve. One, we would need a network switch and a special type of one that can provide power for the device over the Ethernet cable. That probably is going to run us around $150 to $200 ish. And again, I'm thinking of this in terms of we don't know that we're always going to be in that building. The things that I'm talking about purchasing, if we ever had to move back here, they would still be useful. We're not going to just throw them out because they have no application to this building. It could be used here.
Okay.
Second of all, we've talked about putting in security. Well, there aren't just security cameras. They're cameras that could be used for a number of different things. The cameras could be used as a part of our YouTube broadcast. They could be used as security cameras against break-ins. They could be used as verification when someone says, I came in and I gave the clerk an envelope. They're cameras that could have many different purposes, but we don't currently own any cameras for such purposes because that's like a webcam. It doesn't exist apart from a computer. We need cameras that exist in their own. Yeah, they're installed into the ceiling and they live up there. They don't get attached by a cable to a computer type deal.
Is this something like we buy at Costco, 4 cameras and a system for $400 or something?
I'll have to look at exactly which one would meet our requirements, but my expectation is that we would not need to spend more than $300 for 2.
Okay, like Arlo or.
And if I can do
one of
it,
those
yeah,
kind of things.
and if I can do it cheaper, I most certainly will. But in general, I'm saying I would like approval. This is not a vote of approval, but indication that the council is good to see in a future meeting when we approve claims for expenditures to be in the vicinity of $500, not to exceed $500.
Yeah.
And again, if we move back here, we could put the cameras up here. They won't go in the trash can. And I think that in general, these things are areas of deficiency as we currently operate. Does anyone have any objections to that? Concerns?
The only thing I would like to see is security for the clerk. And what I mean by that is we've had incidents where people come in here, behave less than a way that we would expect them to behave in City Hall. And something that we can have video camera of that to show the police. I don't know if there's anything we can do to have a help button or something. Is that?
Oh, a 911 button, like they do in a bank.
Someone sees their face on a monitor in
Yeah,
front of them.
that could do too.
Great deterrent.
Just something like that. That's the only interest I have. I'm not, and that you spend enough so that it works, so that
Well,
we
yeah.
don't have a system that you're saying, who is that in that camera?
No, and I'm talking about cameras that
Videos.
have a nice resolution to them that you can actually make out things with.
Yeah.
And actually, that also brings up one other thing that would be associated with that. We also talked about potentially getting a TV for over there. David, I think, brought it up, that something that we
Have
can
a screen.
broadcast to. You can go with a projector. Projectors have more setup. Unless you're going to like mount it somewhere, you're going to have to put it on a table and get it adjusted and put the screen up and all that kind of stuff. The nice thing with a TV, you can put the TV on a roller mount. You can roll it into place. You can hook up a cable and you can go.
You could
And also,
just put up anything you want
Right.
on it? Yes.
and projectors, usually you have to get a pretty good projector to overcome the ambient light projectors work really, really well if you've got like a basement home theater and you turn off all the lights and you just project a screen. But when you want a projector to fight with the light that's in the room, you need a much better projector for that. So I think we could get like a 55-inch TV for a few $100 and call it good. To try and get a projector that's going to give you that kind of a quality, you're probably talking $1,000.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something the council wants to do at this time as well, but like when we talk about budget sessions and all that kind of stuff, we don't really have anything to just say there or that, or put the map up on screen. Well, here we're talking about this area of the map right here,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
And most newer TVs are gonna have Bluetooth, and most newer computers are gonna have Bluetooth, and then you can just computer right to the
AirPlay and Chromecast. Yep.
Word.
Word. So are we interested in doing that as well? That would probably be, let's say not to exceed $350, but I'm hoping I can do better than that.
I think it would be very beneficial for,
Would that be like in the chambers down below in the, where the
The dungeon?
county commissioners have their, they probably got a 6-foot screen down there, and I was in there in a meeting
Yep.
last week, and boy, they put up all of the things they wanted everybody to read.
They took down one of the smart boards in one of the classrooms at school and replaced it with a TV because it's much more versatile and
And it just slid into a
costs
laptop, no wires.
ton less. Yeah.
She was directly feeding off a laptop.
Yeah. Here's the thing I saw about being in the commissioner's chambers when I was interested in things. They don't have a setup where any of the commissioners can easily do that for themselves. It all goes through Tara.
Yes,
So not all of you might feel comfortable doing it, but we could set up a system with a TV that has AirPlay in it, or for Joe, within 2 taps. I could make, maybe 3, but 2 or 3 taps, it would be from here to the screen. The commissioners have no such theoretical capabilities with what they've currently got there because it's all hooked up just through Tara's machine. So arguably, what I'm talking about would be much more accessible to us than it is to the commissioners currently.
great.
The
Still the same
idea,
visual
but just
look.
accessibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still don't have a finalized date with it, but I would say this, in walking around in there today, it looks like a lot of things are very close to me. So I'm encouraged that we're going to be there pretty soon, hopefully.
Do you need ladders or anything to do what you're doing in the basement?
Not for the basement, but when I put the wires up into the ceiling, yeah.
I have a little giant that's 8 feet tall that
Yeah, I'm going to probably
2
need
people can,
something.
it'll hold 2 fat guys, not just 1 fat guy. So it's a safe ladder. I hate ladders.
That is our weight measurement.
Huh? Well, guaranteed, I mean, it's a serious ladder.
No, I could use that because in the ceiling, I'm gonna put in wires for the cameras, and I'm gonna put in the wires for the Wi-Fi.
That was a drop ceiling, is it not?
It is, and then what I saw is huge bats of R34 fiberglass insulation that they're putting in there.
Drop ceiling and bath.
And they've put in new tiles in it, and it looks like all new lights because I see the old bays sitting on the floor. You could you could see them in there, and so I didn't see the lights on, but it looks like it's going to be it's going to be nothing like this abomination.
there's nothing like this in all the rest of the county.
Yeah, so it looks like that's all looking good. In the room, they did a nice job of taking out that little room by the vault, and there's now that nice little office space there for things, and
In there.
I can see it coming together for us.
Do we have a mail slot?
I didn't look for that.
A what?
I wasn't thinking
Mail
about
slot.
that.
I hadn't thought of that. That's true. We should have one of those.
It's well used here.
Yes.
Well, the good news, the back side of the mail slot is locked here, right?
Yes.
So people could, at least in the meantime, people can still deposit into that slot, and we can walk over here and get it.
Unless they remove the drop that was already over there, There was already one in place.
Well, I think they might have removed that as a part of the ATM,
Okay,
maybe.
because it always sat right beside the door. It's like a foot and a half to the right of the door.
Well, that probably came out with the ATM
Okay.
changes.
Yeah. And that room we will not have access to.
Right.
Okay,
But like, I mean, that's when we went into this whole thing. That's one of the benefits of still being the owners of this property, is we don't have to change our mail. We don't have to change our address. We don't have to change the mail slot. Is that if nothing else, we can always walk over and get access here, at least as an interim solution. So, and the fact that that's locked means the library could be in here in day to day, and people could still drop anything that they currently do in there. If we trust the lock and the general security of that box, it doesn't matter. At least that I can figure out.
No, it's fine.
So,
It's as fine as,
Until it's not.
well, it's at least something we can use as an interim.
okay.
So that's it. Thank you, council, for your interest in that. I will get links to Donna so that we can use the city's credit card and not do the whole reimbursement thing.
I'll ask again, any public comments? None.
We have one on the YouTube comment that from JL that says announcements for the council meetings are not being put on info@harrington.city. It probably would you mind when you do the Facebook
I'll do it.
events just to just send out a link?
That will be corrected.
Thank you.
I just have one clarification, I didn't catch it before on the minutes, go back just for the records, is that when I stated under the mobile home park expansion, it is December 14th, not November 14th. It's December 14, 2005. Just-
That was for the city council meeting?
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. We might be only an hour and 15 minutes in the actual meeting.
I'm primed.
I can tell you look like a spring.
Levi,
Move to adjourn.
second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned, 8:14.